If you thought the world of politics was already full of drama, buckle up because it's about to get even more interesting. The coalition of members-elect of the House of Representatives and the minority parties has finally declared its bid for the office of the Speaker in the 10th National Assembly. Meanwhile, no fewer than 5 former governors are in the race for the Senate presidency. They include Orji Uzor Kalu, Godswill Akpabio, David Umahi, Adams Oshiomhole, and Abdulaziz Yari. Will these opposition reps-elect be able to topple the current leadership led by the ruling APC, or will a former governor sweep in and steal the show at the Senate? BQ, how interesting does this get?
Well, this, we know, at this time, I can understand why the opposition reps-elect are speaking in this manner. APC, after the rerun elections, lost its majority. So what APC has now, 178 House of Reps members, and the opposition put together has 182. Out of this 182, PDP has 105. So if we add 178 with 182, that's 360. So APC clearly fell short of having a majority in the National Assembly by 6 members. And that is why when we talk about the February 25 election, that the February 25 election was an election like no other. You know, it was on that day that this election was conducted. Yes. And it was largely, very largely free and fair. That's why a lot of these people could emerge. There was even a 30-year-old student union leader in Sokoto State who defeated somebody who had been in the National Assembly for 3 terms. Those things don't happen like that now. Not really. Those things don't happen in an election characterized by vote rigging, by ballot rigging and all that. Now, what we didn't see before, PDP would not just have majority, they would even have 2/3 majority. Other parties would only take the crumbs. But you can imagine Labour Party alone had 34 House of Reps members. That's significant. And we now have opposition, 7 different parties. You know? That also adds to the character of the February 25 election, that it produced, for the first time in our history, 8 political parties. 8 political parties got people elected into the National Assembly. It has never happened like that. At no time did we have up to 8 political parties, you know, have their members elected into the National Assembly. Now, of course, they can feel that this is a strength, because whether we like it or not, it's a strength. It means that APC can zone those positions. But you have to talk to these people because they are in the majority. You lost the majority.
Exactly.
It's significant because this is also something that we were not seeing before. Check previous elections. Those of them saying this is the worst election in Nigerian history. The ruling party has lost the majority. Ruling party that used to enjoy 2/3 majority has even lost majority. Is that not something that should tell you that, look, this election was not like previous elections? It was much better, especially the February 25 election. I'm not talking about the governorship election, because some of the things that I saw in the governorship election, I do not even want to talk about. But that election has delivered to us something that we never had before. The opposition constituting the majority. We've heard of different people who want to contest in the House of Reps. The young man who is a lawmaker from Panshin Kanken Kanam. that is Gagdi, 41-year-olds. Something like a bridge between the old and the young. Something I may perhaps make some of our the little boys on Twitter who are abusing everybody. Something that will probably even make them happy. A young man is pushing hard. He wants to contest. And we have Betara, the chairman of House of Reps Committee on Appropriation. We have, though Betara's case may well be decided by the fact that he is from Borno, and the president, vice president-elect, is also from Borno. So people will ask the question, must it even go to the Northeast in the first place? If we are talking about fairness, equity, and justice, it should not even go to the Northeast, not to talk of going to someone from the same state as the number 2 man. Number 2 man, number 4 man from the same state. I don't think we've reached a point where that can be permitted to happen. So we have him, we have Wase, we have who else that is interested from the
Abbas.
I don't know whether the man from
they are dropping his name.
Adewi, I don't know whether he's still in the race from Kwara, you know. But this reality will make the race very, very keen. Opposition members now in the House of Reps, they become far more important than in previous years because you have to walk through them. There are plenty of votes there. You have to reach out to them. You have to convince them. You cannot win simply by the decision of your party. Exactly. You know, in the past, they could just come together and say, okay, they have the majority, and this one is decided by a simple majority. You know? The simple majority. But they cannot even win now unless they work with other people. So it's not, when they are saying that they have the opposition has the majority and they are thinking of coming together, they must have seen that, yes, they have the strength. But you and I know that it will be difficult for them to come together in that way. Voting in this kind of election is usually by partisan. People from ADC will probably even support APC. Because we saw during the election, some APC members actually supported the APC in the presidential election. So it will be largely bipartisan, and the ranks of the opposition House of Reps members will certainly be broken in the course of the election. And I know that that will happen. But they are already now trying to draw attention to themselves, getting people to realize that, look, this time around, you cannot joke with us. We have the strength.
All right, Paul Dada. Now, talking about the spread of seats among political parties, how will this spread impact on achievement of unanimity?
Take the question again.
Talking about the spread of seats among political parties, yes. How will this spread impact on achievement of unanimity?
Well, you know, when it comes to legislative business, you can't jettison partisanship totally. But I think national interest always has to override partisan politics. For example, if you are bringing bills, there should be bills that satisfy Nigerians, not just, what's it called now? Not just your party. You understand? What I expect people to do is that the lawmakers, I expect them to be more interested in nationalism. Of course, the more the merrier. For me, I'm even happy that you have this situation. I'm very happy that you have more parties in the National Assembly, or especially in the House of Reps. So people can always come with different ideas and different ideologies. And then, in the interest of common good, okay, you subject your ideology, you know, to the common good. I think it's very good.
Thank you. 12 former governors of both the APC and PDP won their senatorial elections for the 10th Senate.
Yes. Some had been, you know, when we talk about former governors, They are not just governors who left the scene or who are just about to leave the scene. A good number of the governors about to leave the scene couldn't win this last National Assembly election. I think about 7 of them lost. People like Governor of Plateau, he lost. Governor of Taraba, he lost. So many of them, or 7 of them. Again, that is a first. In the past, they would just steamroll they would just manipulate the process and ensure that they get there. But this time around, a good number of them didn't succeed. Remember, even Unamani could not get back to the house from Enugu State. Now, among those seeking to become Senate President, Adams Oshiomhole is mentioned, but Adams Oshiomhole will be a first-timer.
Yeah.
And I know that by the House, by the Senate rule, the first-timer is not considered for such a position. People point to what Akpabio managed to do. Akpabio was a first-timer when they made him majority leader of the, minority leader. Minority leader, you know. But that's just one of the principal offices. But for Senate President, I don't think that the tradition is for someone coming in for the first time to become Senate President. So it's going to be tough for Adams Oshiomhole. But there are still a good number of them who are interested, at least 5 of them. Ojus Okalu, Akpabio, Umahi. Yari too is a first-timer. Although he had been in the House of Reps before, but he's a first-time senator. It's going to be tough for him. But Senator Barau from Kano is a ranking senator. He has suddenly shown interest in the thing. At a point, when people are saying, oh, he should go to the southeast, he should go to the south-south, we've seen someone from the northwest, and a very powerful senator for that matter, saying, look, it is our turn, our local. So the northwest is showing an interest in the town that could really alter the dynamics, except the party can put its foot down and say, look, we are zoning this to this particular zone. I was reading Theodore Oji, former governor of Abia, and was advising the APC to zone without hesitation. I hope that once Asiwaju resumes, once he returns from France, hopefully this week, they will just speed up work on this whole thing and let everyone know where these positions, all these principal officer positions are going to be zoned. Otherwise, the longer it takes, the more difficult it will be for them to achieve unanimity. Because once people have spent money and they can see that they've garnered a tremendous support, if the party now comes so late in the day and says, no, it's not, they will not listen. It will just, the Bukola Saraki scenario will just happen again, where he will now defeat the candidate of his party. So it's best for them to decide now, where are you zoning those positions to, you know? And they have to also be conscious of plurality as a country. I've heard people say, look, if we are not careful, we could have a situation in which the first 4 positions could go to Muslims.
Yeah.
And that's not what people want to see. I don't think that even the framers of our constitution and the federal character principle had this kind of scenario in mind. I don't think it's good for us to allow that to happen.
Oh, Dada.
Yeah, the earlier this is settled, the better. We heard that after Ramadan, decision will be taken. Ramadan is over, Salah is over. So they had better work on this. And one of the advantages is that once decision is taken, for example, if it is zoned to a particular, or micro-zone to a particular part of the country, every other person will just drop. It will restrict the number of contenders. You know, it won't just be.
It needs to be more manageable.
Exactly. This one's coming from this zone. That one's coming from this zone. And I think many of them will expect the party decision. I think Senator Barra himself said, yes, if the party says no to me, no problem. And I think I like that spirit. If the party, I will abide by what the decision of the party. It's very important to avoid a situation where you have people from the same religion occupying the top spots. And I know people there have been warnings. You heard Salisu, Salisu, the APC vice.
Saliu Lukman.
Saliu Lukman saying that those that are trying to contest, that are vying for the position in the north, they should. What are they doing? I think I reason with him. You know, you can't have president Muslim, VP Muslim, and then Senate President Muslim.
And House of Reps.
House of Reps. And of course, the House of Reps speaker is likely to be a Muslim.
No, because even it's been touted that that will go to North Central.
Fine, and of course.
And when it goes to North Central, some of the people that we are hearing, those who are showing interest, they are Muslims.
Okay, Muslims. That's
they are Muslim. Was Gadi and the rest of it, they are Muslim. So they have to be really.
So we need to find that balance. Especially at a time like this, when some people are.
No, they are going to say, "We told you, we warned you." You know, they will say Islamization of Nigeria has begun.
Especially people who are disgruntled, who are still thinking that the election was not won.
It will be insensitive.
Yes.
To let that happen. You know, it will be insensitive to let that happen. I don't think this time Wase and Wajabe Amila are both Muslim.
Yeah.
But people didn't look in that direction at that time because, look, we had the Senate, the Vice President is Christian. You know, people didn't talk about the fact that both Wase and Wajabe were Muslim. But not at this time. At this time, people are ready, they are waiting, they want to see what will happen. And every position now, whether it's the chief of staff or this, they want to see who they are bringing.
Exactly. And the opposition is actually getting bolder. If you don't learn from history, that's why the negative part of history can repeat itself. The Seraki situation where you had an APC Senate President and a PDP Deputy Senate President.
Once they agree to work together, there's nothing. Because that one was not even. They emerged in spite of the party. And because they emerged in spite of the party, he was headhunting supporters across party lines.
Exactly.
He never presented himself as the APC candidate, so he was going around the parties. And by the time he had the supporters, one of the conditions for the PDP to give him that support was I should give them a deputy. And they agreed to give him a deputy Senate President. I think one other thing that strikes me, and I think is something that we need to do something about it, is the fact that out of the 109 senators, 72 are freshers. The rate of turnover of lawmakers is too high in Nigeria, whether for House of Reps or for Senate. And to groom lawmakers in the best practices of lawmaking is a grueling, time-consuming affair. Some of them will go abroad for training and all that. And once an electoral cycle comes, we just send them packing. we've lost some very good lawmakers that naturally should still be there and helping us with the business of lawmaking. We've lost them. Now we are bringing 72 members who are new. Those ones will still just start learning the ropes. The governors are usually targeting National Assembly, and you will find that within a short time, a governor has quarreled with a federal lawmaker, especially senators. They are always targeting their position. So that's why you have this high rate of turnover. But in the US, that's not what we see. US Senator Robert C. Byrd spent 51 years in the Senate. 51 years, 5 months, 26 days in the Senate. Then Daniel K. Inouye spent 49 years and 11 months. Another senator, Patrick J. Leahy, they talk about the Leahy law, upon which they refused to sell weapons to Nigeria. Yeah. The man who came up with that law, Patrick J. Leahy, spent 48 years in the U.S. Senate. There is a current senator now, Mitch McConnell. Yeah. He's in his 38th year and he's still in the Senate. But in our own case, even if he has done 4 terms, we already say, 4 terms, what if
the lawmaker is not performing?
No one is saying that you should keep someone who is not performing. I'm just looking at the larger picture. No one can tell me that 72 senators didn't perform. I know some senators that we lost that would have been very useful. One of them was this senator that the governor of Ondo State, Ekiti State.
Yes, made the one that is taking the job for free.
Yes.
The economic advisor.
Yes, fantastic senator. And we have so many people like that. Look at Kabir Marafa, for example. Kabir Marafa knows the job. Exactly. But Kabir Marafa was defeated by a PDP senatorial aspirant in Zamfara this time.
I think it's about our culture.
While you react to that, when people say former governors are targeting the Red Chamber, or rather the Red Chamber is gradually becoming a retirement home for former governors, does it even matter?
No, it matters. But let me quickly react to what, if I come to your question. I think it's also the poor orientation of voters. Some people they don't even know who the senators are, who the lawmakers are. They just vote for a party. There's a place in Lagos.
That's one leg of it. But a lot of them didn't even...
there's a place in Lagos where there was no assembly representative for a particular party. And he won in that place. That party won. But there was no... I think it was a ward or a polling... There was no
candidate.
No candidate.
Well, you happen in Kano too. NNPP didn't have a candidate, but people voted.
Now, that you are a governor, that you even succeeded as a governor, does not mean you will be a very good legislator. That is the truth. That you succeeded as a governor does not mean you will be a good... I think sometimes it's just about personal interest. If the senator in that place, from your state, is good enough, and the people are satisfied with him, is performing, I think what a governor holds that person is to support him. People just think that the only way they can be relevant in the country is to hold political position. Nobody can hold position forever. If you are a governor, of course, a governor has 2 terms to serve, right? But a legislator does not have term limits. Now, if the legislator from your state is doing well, is making sterling contributions in the National Assembly, and people are satisfied with him, you don't have any business replacing him. But then sometimes people just think that, well, maybe people are used to being in office, they are not used, they are no longer used to life outside office. They have been governor for 8 years. So you become an ex-governor. So how the paraphernalia of power and that horror of, it's not supposed to be like that.
If you get into the Senate, that prefix is forever.
Senator.
Yes, forever you'll be called a senator.
So, Bikio, quickly before we go, let me quote the Director General of the National Institute of Legislative Studies, Professor Abubakar Suleiman, who said there must be a way to stop this because former governors do not add value to what legislators do. Do you agree?
No. That's a generalized statement. You can't tell me, for example, that the former deputy governor of Abia, Abaribe. You can't tell me that Abaribe is not adding value. Abaribe is one of the most outspoken people on the floor.
That's true.
You know? So it's not good to simply dismiss all of them that they are not going to add value. And I know that Oshomole will add value. Everything points to Oshomole. Yeah, he's a former governor. Everything points to the fact that he will add value there. I'm confident.
He will.
Because as Labour leader, he has the experience that others don't have. He's been in government as governor. He's been party chairman. He has varied experiences that I'm sure the Senate will benefit from, especially when it comes to negotiating and all that. And even, what's his name? When he was in the Senate, the Minister of Labour.
Okay, yeah, Gospel Pabio.
You cannot say that it does not add value or that it did not add value. So there are some of them. It's not a bad thing for them to get into the Senate. I really don't even agree that it's a retirement home for them because what they are doing is still politicking. They are still playing politics. They are still working. So if they were simply lounging in their houses, spreading their legs and taking in fresh air, that's when you can say retirement. They are still working. They are in committees. They are heading committees. This man was made chairman of the committee on capital markets, the former governor of Ogun State, Amosun.
Yeah.
You know, so they are still working. They are still playing real politics. So there's nothing like retirement.